to create and tell an original story based on a personal experience.
Thank you. And without further ado, please welcome Mathias, son of Wolf. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride, Mathias, son of Wolf.
And so, it started raining from inside the car. Put your hand up if you've ever been in a bad relationship. Been in any relationship? My bad relationship is not what you think. My bad relationship was with my car. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and other guests, let me explain. See, I had just graduated from university. I was in the prime of my life. I had the world ahead of me. I had worked so hard, and now it was time to make my mark on the world. I had the knowledge, I had the skills, I had the enthusiasm, the opportunities, and no money. It was also time to purchase my very first car. I had promised myself, I said, Mathias, when you finish university, you are never riding the bus ever again. So it was time to purchase my car, and I had no money. So I scrounged around and tried to collect all the money I could. I looked under the couch, I looked in my pockets, looked in my socks, looked in my parents' wallet. Now, nod your head if you've ever purchased a car. Now think about what your budget was. Maybe $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $40,000. My budget was $900. Forget about a car, I could barely afford a bicycle. But I was determined. I needed wheels. I had places to go, people to see. So I started flipping through the used car ads. Whoa, too expensive. Too expensive, too expensive. Bucket of bolts? Too expensive. Aha! I found the perfect car. A car for exactly $900. I was so happy. Finally, I could be free. Finally, I could go wherever and whenever I wanted. Or so I thought. You see, this car was very unique. My car had a mind of its own. My first clue was when I was driving to work one day. It was a bright, sunny day. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, I had the windows all the way down, music all the way up. I could feel the sun beating down on me, wind blowing through my fingers. And then I heard it. Hey! I heard a voice. There's nobody in the car with me. I'm not hearing voices. Hey! I looked around. What? When are you going to fix my squeaky shocks? It's so embarrassing when I get to an intersection. It was definitely the car talking. I don't have any money right now. Don't worry, I'll get to it. A few days later, I heard it again. Hey, Mathias! When are you going to fix my rusty fender? I feel like I'm just falling apart. Over and over again, the car told me what was wrong. Broken taillight, leaky exhaust, and I just ignored it. Until one night, I was driving home. It was a dark and stormy night. No, really, it was a dark and stormy night. It was raining so hard that sheets of rain were falling on the windshield. Ever drive through one of those storms where you've got the wipers going and going, you think the wiper's gonna fly off the car? I was focused on the road, barely making out the lanes on the road. And then I felt it. What was that? Concentrated on the road again, I felt it again. It had started raining inside the car, but that wasn't the worst part. I felt the wetness on my leg. I looked down, only to realize that a tiny little hole had opened up to a 4-inch hole and water was coming through the bottom and the top of this car. I was so angry. I got home, slammed the car door and looked at it and said, "You are nothing but a bucket of bolts. All you had to do was keep me dry and you couldn't even do that?" The car turned, looked at me, and stood up. "You have got some nerve talking to me like that. If you had listened to me when I told you I needed fixing, you wouldn't be in this predicament. This is all your fault." "Ah," I said, and I turned and walked away. But deep inside, I knew that she was right. I had ignored all her requests. I had been selfish. I had taken her for granted. And I had been neglecting her. Isn't it true that when you put things off, it's the very same thing that comes to bite you in the face, or in my case, drip on your face? I learned my lesson. I paid the price, but I learned my lesson. From that day forward, I became meticulous about maintaining the car. Everything that she said, I fixed. Every time she told me something was wrong, I fixed it, and I began to enjoy the ride. You may not have a rusty old car to teach you the lessons that I learned, but if you pay it some mind and be careful, you too could be enjoying the ride of your life. Mr. Toastmaster.